Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be talking about something pretty cool. I think you're going to like it. I've been working for quite a while on this and I think that it's finally to the... That's what I call a job well done. Now that that loser's gone, let's get into the video. So the other day I came across this video that left me a little bit perplexed. The video in question had a guy that claimed to be from the year 3036. And the stuff that he was saying was a bit, odd, to say the least.
Mating is much different. Residents without any illnesses are allowed to mate upwards 3 times a year until impregnated. If you're caught having children outside of the regulated time periods without a caretaker or a caring one and without getting them vaccines, they're removed from the guardians. And it's speculated that they're either killed or used for food.
Now after watching that clip, I thought to myself, that's a little goofy, that's a little silly, that guy seems like a little goofy goober. But there were way too many people that were not having the same reaction to that video that I was. Instead, there was way too many people believing and agreeing with what he had to say, including the person that posted it, saying, "It's coming, this will blow your mind. Wow, what do you think?" Listen, I don't want to offend anybody out there when I say this, but if your name is Clovis, your opinion's already invalid. I'm sorry, I don't make the rules, that's just how it is, okay? You can't be going through life with the name Clovis and expecting everybody to just believe you at face value. But that is what some people in the comments are actually doing, with people saying things like, "I believe this, and if people don't pay attention to what's going on now, that will become a reality." Sad face.
They ask you how you are, you just have to say that you're fine.
And that has 133 likes, which means that at least 133 people agree with that person, which is incredibly disappointing, but it got me thinking, maybe I'm the dumb one here, okay? I never thought about it like that, but maybe I am. Maybe this guy really is a time traveler. Maybe he came from the year 3036 and he's here with us now. I don't know. Weird things have happened. Donald Trump became president. Like, anything is possible.
I'm gonna come.
So after doing the tiniest bit of research, I found that this clip was actually taken from a documentary that was released in 2020 called Confessions of a Time Traveler, The Man from 3036, with the IMDb description describing it as the supposed true story of a time traveler from the year 3036 who explains the future in great detail. Now for context, this documentary was released June 28th, 2020, so right in the midst of the coronavirus. Now some places on the internet describe this documentary as a mockumentary, saying that the entire thing is fake and it was meant to be fake. It's supposed to just make you think, but then some places you look, like IMDb, say that it's supposed to be based on a true story. So it's kind of up in the air on what exactly this documentary or mockumentary is supposed to be about, if it's supposed to just make you think, or if it is supposedly based on real events that have occurred. And there's no denying that there are actually quite a few people out there that agree with and believe what this documentary is saying. So I wanted to see it for myself. Is this as fake as some may say? Or is this the truth that the Biden family is trying to hide from us? They were hiding Hunter Biden's cock from us. Who's to say they aren't hiding the man from 3036? Have we seen his cock? No, we haven't, or at least not yet. He was not easy to find, but we eventually got in touch with the man from 3036. I gotta say right off the bat, I'm a huge fan of the iMovie font. Makes it look very creepy, gives it that cheap feel, like you just put this together over a weekend on your laptop. I'm digging the vibes, okay? Right off the bat, I'm digging all the vibes. Sorry, had to chime in with that. The vibes are good. The vibes are here, we're vibing. So after scheduling an interview with Sebastian, the man from 3036, they end up meeting in a park to do the interview, but not without some restrictions.
Do you have a cell phone on you?
Yeah.
Please turn that off now. If you absolutely must keep it on for emergency purposes, please put it in airplane mode. And please do that now.
What is this man, like Chuck McGill from Better Call Saul? He sees a cell phone and he just starts freaking the heck out. Also, I love that he's wearing the most generic, basic clothing. Like, he's from the year 3036, but he's wearing the most basic clothing that you could get from your local Ross or JCPenney. I don't know. I feel like if you're from 1,000 years in the future, you might have on a little bit different attire, okay? But maybe it's at home and it's in the dryer. Maybe he had to wash it and he had to dry it. Maybe he did go to his local JCPenney and find the most boring ass clothing. Maybe he wanted to blend in. Okay, I can't be jumping to conclusions. I needed to stop that.
So why are we here?
I like it here. It's a good place to come.
It's a good place to what? What are we doing in that park, Sebastian?
Come.
I know 1,000 years in the future, you probably have different customs, but here right now, we don't usually do that in parks. And if we do, it's usually frowned upon. So I wouldn't suggest it. Just some friendly advice from me to you. He then goes on to explain that people in the future do not have hair.
I didn't have hair when I first got here. You see, people's hair doesn't grow in the future. Man-made radiation is so concentrated by the 2080s that people don't grow any hair anymore.
So yeah, guys, in about 57 years, none of us are gonna have any hair. Mark that date on your calendar, 2080s. Luckily, by that time for me, I'm probably not gonna have hair anyway, so I can just fit right in. So yeah, buddy, you wanna sound like it's doomsday? Okay, yeah, well guess what? I don't give a fuck, because I'm gonna be old by that time, and I might even be dead. Okay, who knows? Joke's on you, I don't care.
So why the mask?
I have to wear it. If you had any idea what you were breathing in right now, you'd be wearing a mask too.
Why is that?
I already told you. You're not gonna want to hear this stuff.
Bro thinks he's the main character. I love the way that this guy's talking. Just like so ominous, so eerie. Like you have an interviewer that's interested in what's going on. What's the future gonna be like? What should we do to fix it? And then you have Sebastian over there just like, I told you, you're not gonna want to hear any of this. But I do want to hear it. That's why I'm asking about it. You just don't get it, do you? It's bad. It's really bad. You're not gonna want to hear this. Yeah, except I do. That's why I'm asking the goddamn question. Do you want to answer the question? You aren't gonna like the answer. I'm just gonna tell you now. Okay, yeah, but can you give me an answer?
People's health rapidly declines over time. Basically unstable and unfit conditions for the next 90 years from now. You see, by the 2080s, everything changes. Over 1 billion people die as a result of it.
Damn, bro. I feel like this guy is probably like a history teacher where he's coming from, because the year that he's from is 3036, and for some reason he keeps talking about the 2080s, which in his time would be like 900 years ago. So like that's like ancient history at that point, but apparently it was a pretty pivotal moment in history. That would be like if you or I had like extensive knowledge on the Dark Ages. Actually, now that I'm saying it out loud, kind of makes sense. After seeing how much some guys obsess over the Roman Empire, kind of makes a little bit of sense that this guy might know so much about our time.
So how often do you think about it? Once every month?
Maybe 3 or 4 times a month.
You think about the Roman Empire once a week?
It has a lot of big, like, stories and lessons, like, within the Roman Empire of what to do and what not to do, so yeah.
Gen Alpha, you guys got something to look forward to, because apparently the 2080s are gonna be pretty rough, according to Sebastian here.
Practically everybody born after that point is born with high levels of ionized metals in their bloodstream. And that's one of the main reasons our immune system is so weak, and that's why I asked you to turn off your cell phone. The amount of radiation that comes from your cell phone is enough to make me feel extremely sick. I get chest pains, headaches, vomiting.
You know what'd be really funny is if after he said that, the guy that's interviewing him just like whipped out his phone. So why can't you be around cell phones? That's a little weird. Yeah, if I'm around cell phones, then I'll just start like throwing up and get diarrhea real bad, and honestly, I'd probably die. Really, because I actually have a cell phone right here. What? Yeah. You like that? Get that away from me. You're gonna start puking, you're gonna start throwing up, you're gonna start shitting your pants. Stop. You little baby boy, huh? How do you like that cell phone, huh? How do you like it? Why are you doing this to me? What did I ever do to you? Haven't you figured it out yet? I'm you. Yeah, I guess we do look pretty similar. And we are wearing the same clothes. Yeah, they kind of give it away. You see, you were never supposed to come to the past. I was supposed to go to the future. And you ruined my ticket there. You see, you coming back to the past has messed up the space-time continuum. This was never supposed to happen. I was never supposed to see you. And yet here we are doing an interview. So I had to do what I had to do, as painful as it was for me. It was for the best. Please, spare me. So go. I didn't know. Go into that swift good night. I didn't know. I can't watch.
You know, cell phones, they were completely banned by the 2060s when they realized how harmful they were for you.
Okay, but like, why do we keep talking about the 2000s? Like, can't we go up to like the 2100s, the 2200s, the 2300s, the 2400s, 2500s? You're mentioning stuff that just happens in like 10 years, 20 years, 30 years. I feel like when they were filming this, they completely lost the fact that there's a whole 900 years in between 2100 and 3000. Kind of like when you see those memes that are like, damn, can't believe that the year 3000 is just 80 years away. Except in that case, it's a meme and it's supposed to be funny. In this case, I don't think it is.
The 5G rollout you guys have going on right now is the beginning of it all.
There it is. There's the 5G, ladies and gentlemen. It's what we've all been waiting for. You know, it was so weird that while COVID was like at its peak, and while we were like quarantined and everything for like that straight year, everybody was talking about like 5G this, 5G that. And since then I've heard like literally nothing about it. I don't even know like what the fuck 5G is. Like, I don't fucking know. Like, I don't care. I'm gonna die eventually. The world's going to shit. Nobody gives a fuck about the environment. I don't care about 5G, bro. Dude, we're polluting the air every single day. I don't think 5G is like contributing that much to the demise of the human species.
If you guys understood how dangerous these frequencies are, you'd have never agreed to it. You people are oblivious to it. There's no self-aware people in this time.
You guys just don't get it. Okay, you guys are all stupid. You don't understand what you're doing. He's like talking to like the entire like 7 billion people on the planet as if they're one. As if there's not like millions and billions of people that disagree with how fundamentally we are taking this planet. There's like so many environmentalists out there that completely disagree with like the oil lobbyists. You have people on every side of the spectrum, and this guy's just like, yeah, you guys are just fucking like stupid ass fucks. Like, be fucking self-aware, dog. Like, you guys are ruining shit. All of you guys just fucking chowing down on your McDonald's and watching your TikToks. You guys are oblivious.
You see children and babies with cell phones in their hands. You have no idea how dangerous it is.
Okay, Sebastian, so like what should we do about it? Isn't that the point of this documentary? Like why are you here if not to like give us some advice on what to do? Why are you just telling us how dumb we are and instead tell us how to fix it, buddy? You're from 1,000 years in the future. You use time travel. Tell us how to be better. Why are you not on Capitol Hill talking about this stuff? Why are you in a park coming and not talking about these issues with the people that matter?
You know, in the future, they refer to this time as the idiot era. No offense, but you guys just don't have any idea.
So are we as dumb as we'll ever be right now? Like in the future, everybody else is smarter than us. In the past, everybody else is smarter than us. This is the dumbest era. We're all just brain dead idiots. I'm not gonna completely argue with that. I mean, I go on TikTok. I've seen a lot of dumb stuff. If you look at what kids are watching nowadays on YouTube, pretty freaking weird, but it's the same way with every generation. Every kid is dumb, and then you grow up, and then you realize, oh, this is what I can learn from the people that are older than me. How can I improve on that? People don't get dumber. We learn and we adapt. I don't think that you can just look at the time that you're in and be like, wow, this is so fucking stupid. We're all so fucking dumb. Listen, there's a lot of dumb people out there, but there always has been. Okay, there's always going to be terrible dumb people, but there's also going to be a lot of cool fucking people. And that's just how life is. Because obviously this guy isn't from the future. This documentary, I think, is just supposed to make people think about what's going on in the world. But still, it's like really condescending. Like, this is the idiot era. Like, what? Okay, what was the era before us? Should we go back in time to like when it was cool to like own slaves? How far back should we go? And then for some reason, the guy behind the camera just cuts to footage of Sebastian's toes. I'm at a loss for words. Why? I don't know why you would do my man like that, because those are some gnarly fucking toenails. Sebastian, please cut those things. I'm not trying to body shame right now, but long toenails are disgusting. And if I am body shaming, then I'm sorry. Okay, long toenails are fucking gross. Shit gets underneath there. That's disgusting. Why would you do my man like that by just focusing on his gnarly fucking feet? That was gross. Don't do that again.
It was verified by officials that his name, or at least the name he's using, has never been in any previous databases. This guy basically has no records at all.
I wasn't even paying attention to what the guy was saying. I was just focusing on Sebastian smelling twigs through his face mask. How'd that make you feel, Sebastian? You like that? You want to take some twigs home with you? Smell them through your face mask? They smell good, buddy? I'd like to know their thought process behind this documentary. Like when they were guiding Sebastian, were they just like, okay, Sebastian, so I just need you to go right over there. I just need you to touch some grass, sniff some twigs, maybe put out your arms or something. I don't know. Oh yeah, that's perfect. Right there. Oh yeah, keep doing that. Keep doing that. Try to walk as sluggishly as possible. Yeah, perfect. Perfect. I'm loving that. Loving that. Okay. Sebastian then goes on to explain that he can't go back to his time because we don't have the technology available to send him back to his time. So he's not able to go back, which is sad, you know, so he's got to stay in this time wearing his, you know, Columbia jacket and his face mask. But, you know, I'm sure it's probably better than his time where there was a bunch of radiation and a bunch of bald people. At least he can grow hair here. Okay, he can finally feel what hair is like. So I think that that's a plus for him. The interviewer also asks him why he was caught stealing fruit on his first day here in our time, and Sebastian responds with this.
You see in the future, things like fruit, water, some vegetables, they're free in the marketplaces. We have what's called nourishment centers, where basically you're allowed up to 3 items at no cost. And fruit, you never have to pay for. So it's just a simple misunderstanding, really.
Which to me does not make any goddamn sense, because you've been talking about our history for the past 20 minutes. You've been in depth about what's going to happen, how things work, but then you forgot that you can't just walk into a building and take bananas. I don't know, seems a little fishy to me. But then the interviewer and Sebastian leave, and then the interviewer remembers that, well, golly gee, I have so many more questions to ask the guy. Let's meet up again, shall we? So he ends up meeting up with him again, this time at his house, where he repeatedly said that he was being followed on his way to Sebastian's house.
Ever since I left the house, this same car has been following me.
Even though whenever the camera looks behind the car to see who's following them, there's no car there from what I can see. Maybe you can see one there. Maybe it's invisible. Maybe it's a future car. I don't know. But then they start talking, and Sebastian tells us about some wars that are going to happen. And just remember, guys, this was in 2020. So this was 3 years ago.
Several major wars. There's going to be a world war that will change many things for your lifetime. There's another one starting right now with this coronavirus. This war will be known as the vaccine war. Billions of people refuse the vaccine, and billions of people die as a result of it. There is no resolve.
Yeah, so that never happened, at least in the sense that he's talking. Yes, a lot of people did refuse the vaccine, and yes, a lot of those people ended up dying as a result of that, but not in the way that he's talking about, like the government mandating it to the point that they like kill these people because they don't have the vaccine, which he also says is a chip implant, which they put into his hand for some reason.
Feel it.
Yeah.
I don't know why you're getting a vaccine in your hand. It's a little weird. But the interviewer ends up doing an x-ray to see if he's actually telling the truth, and by golly gee, he is. There's something in his hand. Now, the interviewer can't verify what's in his hand, but it is true that there is in fact something in his hand. What the heck? That's crazy, bro. OMG, he's from the future.
This vaccine is a mandatory chip implant. You can actually see the scar where I have mine.
See, I don't get it, bro. You just said that the vaccine is a mandatory chip implant, but then you say that you can see the scar where you have yours. You don't get scars when you get a vaccine. That doesn't happen. That's not a thing. I'm feeling a bit duped right now, okay? I'm feeling a bit duped. Just a hunch, but I don't think this guy's telling the truth, okay? Just a wild guess. I don't think he's telling the truth, okay? I'm gonna just say it right now.
Everybody's required to have it. You can't do anything without this chip. At that point, you're basically a beneather.
What's a beneather?
Right. So the beneather.
I like that he had to like think about it there for a second. Like, yeah, what is a beneather? A beneather is, it's it's when you, it's basically like when you're a bottom, not like that, but like it then goes on to explain that beneathers are people that live underneath the cities because they don't adhere to the same rules that the people on top do, like getting the chip and following orders. These are people that go against the grain, basically like anarchists. And then he tells us that this is as free as we're ever gonna get, right here, right now.
You're as free as you're ever gonna get, right now. These are considered the last days of freedom.
Fuck, man, no. What am I gonna do without my freedom?
You might actually be here when the big blackout happens.
What's the big blackout?
I love these huge pauses that he has to take. Okay, so what's the big blackout? Just give me 1 second, buddy. Let me think.
The big blackout, if I'm not mistaken, happens in December 2052.
That's why he had to remember the exact date and time. December 2052. That is extensive knowledge, dude. I know if I were to think back 1,000 years, I can't even think back 10 years, okay? I'm gonna keep it a buck. I can't think back 10 years to anything that fucking happened. To think back to 1,000 years and remember the exact month that something historical happened, I would not be able to do that. So mad props to you. You are one smart cookie. He then goes on to explain that the blackout is when something happens where all the electricity shuts off for like 5 years.
The internet, the power, all gets disconnected.
Which I think would be kind of cool, okay? I don't want to jinx us right now, but listen, if we didn't have the internet for 5 years, do you guys understand how healthy our minds would be? Dude, we would just be living our most serene life, not jumbled up in everybody else's mess. And I know that's pretty ironic coming from somebody who only talks about what's going on in the world and other people, but dude, our mental health would fucking go through the roof. We would be as happy as we could ever be. So you know what I say bring it on, okay? I say bring it on, future. Send the blackout, okay? Shut down the world. Bring it on. And then he just starts talking a bunch of mumbo jumbo, futuristic type stuff, things that would be in like Cyberpunk 2077 or like Blade Runner. Most of it's pretty goofy, but there is one point where he says that the only entertainment they have is reading books, and they're only allowed to read books for educational purposes.
And if you're caught reading a book for any other purpose other than educational purposes, it's against the law.
And they don't have TV or anything, which I think is probably the most unbelievable thing that he has said so far, because I don't think that society will ever get to a point where they are tired of being entertained. Now, maybe this is just my small-minded brain, but seeing as how through these past 100 years to where people started like watching TV to now where people are constantly overstimulating their brain with like 3 different screens all at the same time, I don't see how we would ever get to a point where people are not constantly being entertained. If anything, that's probably the only thing that we're doing in the future. You know, we're just having robots run everything. Meanwhile, all of us are just sitting back watching TV, you know, just playing games and shit. I think WALL-E is a much better, accurate description of what would happen in the future than whatever the hell this man is saying. So the interview ends, but the interviewer actually ended up taking some of Sebastian's hair from his bathroom when he went in there to go tinkle. And he ended up sending that hair to get it DNA tested, and it turns out that Sebastian doesn't exist. There are no traces of his ancestors on the planet, and it turns out that he has so much yucky stuff in his blood that it has to be radiation. I mean, look at this. He's got Cell 10, he's got SMG 10, he's got SMG 30, and they're all off the damn charts. Dude, he was telling the truth the entire time. Now, what's this guy doing with an SMG in his body? I don't know. To me, that makes no sense, because isn't that the thing that you're supposed to be like shooting people with in Fortnite? Like, why is that in your body? Like, that makes no sense to me. But then, not too long after the interview, Sebastian goes missing, never to be seen or heard from again. Now, it is speculated that he died in Cypress Park, where somebody stole his left hand, as per the news article that the interviewer mentions, which actually, surprisingly, never happened. I know it's a surprise. He told a lie in this documentary that's not real, but it's true. Now, obviously, that documentary was pretty goofy. We had a good laugh there, but I still think the fact that there are so many people out there that believe this is really, really troubling. But even the people that don't believe him still find this like really intriguing and are acting like this is just so deep. Like, reading these comments just makes me lose all faith in humanity. The message is clear for those who have critical thinking. He might not be a time traveler, but he is ahead of time by thinking critically. I've always said I hate phone and don't trust this 5G. Okay? Cool, I guess. You guys need to watch the whole thing and pay attention. Our grandchildren will be alive during this time. There's no hope for humanity. You know what? He might have been right when he called this the idiot era. Okay? He might have been right. Okay, I take it back. He was right. Because the amount of people that watched this and believed it at face value is so weird. So all in all, I'm still not exactly sure if this documentary is supposed to be real or if it's supposed to be a mockumentary. In either case, it's dog shit. Because if it's supposed to be a documentary, it's not. Like, it's just straight up not. And if it's supposed to be a mockumentary, then it looks like you made it in iMovie over the weekend. So it's also really bad. And also the acting's terrible. And I don't understand why you had all those random shots of like him touching grass and his feet. That was weird. I think there's only really two things that I took from that documentary, and is that one, 5G and cell phones and radiation are all really bad for us, and they're going to be the demise of human civilization as we know it. And two, that he doesn't know how to cut his toenails. Please, buddy, please cut those things. I don't want to see those. Put them away, okay? The dogs are out, and they need to go back into the kennel. They're a little too unruly. Tame those things, bud. But yeah, that's gonna be it for this video. Thank you all for watching, and I'll catch you all in the next video when
Oh my god, just end the video already. Everybody's already clicked off the video by this point anyway. Do you think anybody really stays till the end of the goddamn video? You're basically talking to a brick wall at this point. Just end the video, you loser.
Okay.
She said I hate my day job.